because our expectations are so high and actually even not clear that the easiest way is to just go without so that we're not disappointed, and we just kind of dismiss it as not possible and go, well, that's one of the part of the collateral damage of being a missionary here. And I don't think that has to be true. And particularly as I look back over the years, I think there are some shifts that we can make. But I think it's important for you to stop and go, what do I long for? And to analyze those things and go, is that really what I long for? Because sometimes the things I think I want are not what I really want when I give it a little time and think about it. And also, this is a real simple, shallow answer to say, hey, there aren't the kind of guys around here that I would want to build friendships with. Yeah, that's just silly. Okay, I hear you. I know it's probably true, but that's unhelpful, and I don't think that's really the way to go. And I'll tell you why in a second. Also, I just wonder what it would look like if you were to go after, in a more aggressive way, some of the relationships that are around you or that you have. And let me give you a couple thoughts on, these won't be entirely new, but on how to do that, or what ways you might look at it from a different side. One is, what if you were to say, okay, let me assess the landscape, look at the guys around, and think outside the box a little bit and go, who would I enjoy being in a relationship with? And instead of hanging up on the first thought, which is how are they going to respond to me, or are they going to want to be in that kind of a relationship with me? How about starting by saying, what if I was to go after them? Who are the kind of people that I want to go deeper with? And that brings me to another thought, and that is, when you think about those guys, think about things that you would enjoy connecting with, and for a time, put aside the things that just tick you off or bug you or don't draw you to them. The reason why that's important is I look at my friendships, and I remember thinking about a number of those guys, that is going to be a huge barrier if we go deep. And you know what? The thing I didn't calculate was that once you go deep, you actually have a whole new set of resources in your relationship with that guy to deal with the barriers that come up. The other thing is, sometimes the things I don't like about people are pretty petty, and you get into a deeper relationship with another guy and you start talking and you find those things go by the wayside. They're really, really easy to ignore. Another key argument for moving forward in this area is, I think right now we can say, look, I got my wife and I got my kids, and they're occupying a great deal of my time and all my relational energy. But I also really want to challenge you to build into those relationships now, while you're out here in the mission field, and no matter how long you're going to be out here. And because those kids are leaving you. Mind it, doggone him. I'm kidding. I mean, I'm just so glad. And you really want to have those friendships in place. The other thing is, the investments you're making in those relationships now are going to affect you in a couple different ways. One is, they're going to build into your relationship down the road 10 years from now. I mentioned that I'm in Croatia, and that's particularly a key place for two relationships I have with men, which are Dave and Mel, Dave Patty and Mel Ellenwood, and we've come a long way together. And actually, a number of years ago, as many of you know, we started vacationing together here on this island of Hvar in Croatia. And I remember the first time we decided to come down here together on a camping trip. First of all, I agreed to go with Mel, and Dave and I had been friends since childhood, and I just thought, I cannot camp with that guy. It just absolutely will not work. The way he does everything correctly and right and purposefully, and I want to rest, and it's just not going to work. And so actually, it happened a little bit by accident. And the three of us went camping together, and I thought it would. I honestly didn't. I love them, but I thought and it was great. Although it was very purposeful, and it was very clean, but as time went on, we just actually, those things they brought to the table, and the things that Laura and I brought to the table in our relationship, it was awesome. But we had to work through some things, and that doesn't mean that everybody you try to vacate with, it's going to go well. But that's a picture of moving into those relationships and finding what can work. As a matter of fact, 12, I don't know, 13, 14 years later, now we've gotten involved in a project down here together where we're all investing, and I've stayed in that project first and foremost because of my relationship with those two guys. It keeps us connected, and I'm wanting to do a lot of purposeful things to keep us connected, and I just benefit from that. So I came down here to do something on this project. That's why I'm here. But since I'm here, I'm thinking about how important those friendships are to me right now, and I know how important my relationship with those guys is. Hey, a couple thoughts about how do you do this while living on the mission field, and everybody's going to do it different. But I start by going, using those two guys as an example of a number of other just really great guy friends, but with those two guys, since I'm here to talk about that, what do I contribute to their lives? Just think about that. What could they gain from being around me? And rather than going down the inferiority road or going down the arrogant road, just go, I wonder what they would really enjoy that I can bring to the table. And I figured that out somewhat with both of those guys. And it's interesting that in the beginning stages, we had really similar jobs. Mel and I were doing English camp, stuff like that. And I was country leader in Poland, Dave was country leader in Czech. And our working relationship has drastically changed over the years. And now we're functioning in different ways, and yet our friendship has moved through all those different levels. And I got to tell you, I really, really love it. And we've had stressful times as well. We've had times where conflict has come into play. In fact, it's been, some would say, how do you do that when you're in a line of succession? In fact, in one area in advance, Dave is my upline, even though I'm under Mihao. And so that's had complex aspects to it. And each time we've said, yep, it does. So let's move through that. Let's be mature about that. How is that going to work? Mel and I both bought vans, and we went on road trips together, and we connected with our boys that way. And the original van purchase was a way to connect my hobby, something I would enjoy, with relationship with another guy, and with raising our sons, with my son. And my son is an only child, helping him connect with other boys. And so one of the challenges I would say is, how can you connect your ministry lives or your functional lives together with some other guys? I have a couple of practical ideas. One is, of course, vacation together, but another one is, okay, so you've got an event, you need somebody to speak or to come along, get one of your friends. Like, let's say you have two people to choose from, and this guy is a little more gifted, but this guy is a relationship you're wanting to build. Hey, choose this guy. Man, let's figure out how to get the win-win. How can you mix your ministry life together with the passion of that it has, and you're building friendships with these guys? And so as you go into this new year, I just want to challenge you to stop right now. Think for a minute. What do I wish were true in my relationships? What purposeful steps could I take? Or how can I pray? Or how can I let the sadness grow in me of what is not true, and really be aware of it, and then take a step forward going into this new year? And I really encourage you to talk with some of the other guys on your team and ask them, how are they feeling about friendships? How have they done it? What are they planning on doing this year to make that area richer? And don't just settle for what is. Go for it. It's much more is possible. I hope you get to have as good of friendships as I am enjoying, and even better. Thanks for listening.